glory to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashema Mashiach, Wamadak Yahweh, Yahweh being the name of the Father, who the world calls God, and Yahweh Shah being the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. I want to give a strong shalom to all the mighty men that's going out there laboring, right, putting their bodies and making their bodies as a living sacrifice for the Lord on the highways and byways, and during the elements, the 100-degree weathers, right, the freezing below codes, and doing all they can to exercise and magnify the name of the Most High. I want to give another strong shalom to all the mighty Aqua, right, the sisters that's out there, that's reverencing their husbands. They're being teachers of good things, tender, delicate, and on fire for the Most High. And I want to give another strong shalom to all the mighty children, right, and teenagers in this thing as well, doing all they can to make their calling and election sure in the last days, right? So we're going to hop straight into it, man. And the topic of this video is, are you truly prepared to be hated by all men for the Yahweh Shah's name's sake, right? Are you truly prepared for this? Are you ready to be hated by all men, right? And the Most High, he put it on my spirit to make this video, right? Because I had a dream last night, you know, paraphrasing it. I got beat up for the word of God, man. Literally. And I don't really have dreams like that. And the only time I get dreams is when, you know, it be dreams of folly and madness and wickedness, right? So this one kind of stuck out, right? I had a dream that I got jumped for the words of the Lord. So that's kind of set me on fire, man. And the Lord is pulling out his spirit in the last days. The spirit of prophecy, right? The spirit of dreams. The Lord is making himself manifest to his servants in the last days. All right, let's get a precept. All right, let's go to the book of Joel, right? The classic precept in Joel, the 2nd chapter, right? It's the book of Joel, chapter 2, and verse number 28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, right? So that's what the Lord is doing in the last days, right? He's pouring out his spirit upon all flesh. It says, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. And that's what you're seeing in the last days. You got men all over the world that are prophesying. Men in Africa, men in London and the UK, right? South America, where else? All across the United States of America. It says, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And that's what the Lord is doing in the last days. Right? Brothers say, I have dreams all the time. I have visions all the time. Literally. A brother told me about his dream. You know, he got beamed up into a chariot. Another brother seen a dream of an angel. Right? And he said his face was as the appearance of lightning. So this is real. We don't make up this stuff. Right? This stuff is real, man. And the Most High put it on my spirit to make a video about this. Because like I said, I don't really have dreams unless it be folly or wickedness. Right? But I had a dream, you know, I kind of got jumped. Right? And the same people that was in my dream, it was some men I used to go to school with. And it's crazy because I seen them not too long ago, earlier in the year. Right? So the real question is, are you prepared, man? Now, I might go into the dream, pull some precepts, right? Because the dream I had, it links straight up with the precepts. Right, let's go to Mark, the 13th chapter. Right? Let's go to the book of Mark, chapter 13. And it's not a game, man. Right? This is real life. This is real life. Right, let's go to the book of Mark, chapter 13, at verse number 13. It says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. See that? So this the Lord talking. He's saying you're going to be hated. You men, you women, you're going to be hated of all men for the Lord's sake. You got to ask yourself, are you ready? Or are you still being slothful? Are you playing around? Are you taking this as a joke? It's not a joke, man. Men, women, and children, their lives is on the line for this. Right? I'm going to read that again. It says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Right? So the point is, you're going to be hated by all men. Right? And that's literally, it's kind of going into the dream that I had again. So, you know, I kind of had one last night, and it started off, I was walking into the classroom. Right? And as I was going into the classroom, the same men that I went to school with, I still know their names. One of them is D'Angel, and the other one, you know, we call him Lil D. That was his name. D'Angel and Lil D. And now they already knew that I was kind of acting weird because they seen the fringes, you know, on my shirt. So they knew I was, you know, they knew I was kind of into something else. So I'm walking into the classroom, right? And they literally laughing at me, right? They was laughing at me. They said, "Oh, you a preacher now?" Da 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 da. Hey, that's what's gonna happen, right? You care about what other men say about you, right? So they was laughing at me or whatnot, and then, you know, one of them, Lil D, he said, you know, I want to fight you, and I'm trying to remember all of it because when you have a dream, it's not like you can remember every single thing, detail to detail. No, it's gonna slip your mind. So as he said that, he said I wanted to fight you. And I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to fight. I don't want to fight you. And he was like, no, we gonna fight you. And I was like, you know, what did I do? And I was going up into the hallway, and it was over the Bible. I can't remember what exactly, but it was over the scriptures. And then, you know, him and the angel, they kind of went outside, right? And I was in the hallway. And, you know, they was charging at me, and they was trying to fight me. And then next thing you know, I woke up, right? Next thing you know, I woke up. As soon as I woke up, I was like, dang, you know, this is coming, right? And it's easier said than done, right? A lot of men say, oh yeah, I'm gonna die for the Most High. I'm gonna die for the Lord. Hey, when they said, you know, you know, we gonna jump you, my heart kind of started pounding. I was like, oh snap, you know, what did I do? I don't want to get jumped. That's what I told him. But then towards the end, when I was walking out in the hallway, I was like, you know, it is what it is. And then next thing you know, I woke up and it was over with, right? So that's why the Most High put it on my spirit to make this video, because you're gonna be hated. A lot of men, they don't want to be hated. They want to fit in this society. They want to make it. They want to be the top dog, right? It says, Joyce Ivy, we have been hated for the past 500 years by all 17 nations. Even some of your own hate each other so they could bring it. And that's right, man. We have been hated for 500 plus years. You think these people, they like the Israelites? I had a precept for that. Right, this is the book of Jeremiah. And these nations, they laugh at you. You're a laughing stock to the nations. Right? Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 15. I got a precept that link up with that. Right, this is Jeremiah chapter 15 and verse 5. It says, for who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem? Or who shall bemoan thee? Meaning, who is going to feel sorry for the Israelites? Nobody's going to feel sorry. The Chinese man, he's not going to feel sorry for the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Esau, he dang sure don't feel sorry for what happened to us. The Ethiopians, the Koreans, the so-called Africans, they don't care about you. That's what it's saying. It says, or who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? And nobody does that. Last time I checked, no nation on this earth has ever said, you know what? The Israelites, they did go through 400 years of slavery. They did get their backs whipped in. They did get their woman raped. They men got that. They babies got fed to alligators. You know what? I'm gonna go check on the Israelites. I'm gonna go see how they're doing. I'm gonna help them out. No nation has asked that. That's why it got a question mark at the end of the verse. It's rhetorical. Who shall ask? It says who shall go aside to ask how thou do it. Nobody's gonna say, you know what? Let me ask and see how the Israelites are doing. No, they don't. These people, they don't care about you. But certain men in the truth, they still want to make it here. They don't want to truly deep down be hated. And this is one of the next big things that's coming. While we got a famine, we really waiting for a famine. You know, World War III is already here. And then guess what? Jacob's trouble. Men getting hated. Right? Hey, your boss tell you something, you start crying. Or you might have been in the world, right? People talk about you. You always want to fight. Nah, she said something about my mom. Right? Hey, you know, these Eves, they don't like when other Eves talk behind their back. They kind of get mad. Or they want to shoot, they want to kill somebody. Or somebody want to shoot somebody. What you gonna do when Esau come in with the tanks, right? And the AR-15s and the helicopters? Are you gonna try to fight Esau? You gonna try to say, oh, Esau talked about my mom? No, they gonna put you to death. And you gotta be prepared for that. See, a lot of people, they not prepared for that, right? They're still slothful. They barely read what you only read 2-3 chapters a day. You don't pray. You only pray like 3 times a day. You rarely go on a fast. How are you prepared to be hated by all men? You still care what other people think. People laugh. Hey, the men in the Bible, they got laughed at. And Yahweh Shai, he got laughed at. He got hated amongst all men. All right, let's go to that in Matthew. And he got spit on. All right, let's go to Matthew, the 26th chapter. See, a lot of people, they forget about these accounts. Go to Matthew, chapter 26. Right. Right. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 26, and verse 66. Right. It says, what think ye? They answered and said, he is guilty of death. So they told Yahweh Shai, you know what? He's guilty. He don't deserve to live. It says, verse 67. Then they spit in his face. Imagine somebody spitting in your face. Right? Eve be ready to fight. You will be ready to fight if somebody spit in your face. They get all the snot that's in their nose and they blow it out at you. And you gonna try to fight somebody. You gonna want to fight. Guess what? They spit in Yahweh Shai's face. It says, and buffet him, and others smote him with the palms of their hands, saying, prophesy unto us, thou Christ. Who is he that smote thee? And that's wickedness. But they was mocking Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai, who was hated. He wasn't highly esteemed. Right? See, a lot of people in his truth, they want to still be highly esteemed. They want to still have some type of success in the world. They want to be that, they still want to be that basketball player or that football player. They want to be that cool guy, that cool woman, the woman that everybody likes. Hey, if everybody like you, you're not doing, I believe, you know, somebody said this, I can't think about who, but they said if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right. Right? That's what a wise man said. He said, if you don't have haters, guess what? You're not doing something right. And that line up right with the scriptures, man. Because if somebody's highly esteemed, you're the top man in Israel, everybody likes you. Nobody has nothing bad to say about you. Right? Hey, you know, you're not really doing something right. You being a man pleaser. That's what it is. Right, let's go to Jeremiah. And we don't care what man thinks about us. Man might think we're crazy. Oh, he says we're gonna get, the Israelites are gonna get beamed up in a UFO. He's crazy, man. Right? And the brother said, Cat Williams said that. Hey, Cat Williams, hey, he right, man. If you don't have haters, you're not doing some you're not doing is right. All right, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 37. I want men to hate me. I want men to be mad at me. Why is he always reading the Bible? Why is he always making videos? Why is he always reading? Right? Hey, I want men to hate me, man. I might not be at that level right away, but hey, that's the goal I'm trying to reach. I'm not trying to be a man pleaser. A lot of men and women, and you women too, man. You women, you want to be men pleasers. You want to be woman pleasers. You want all the sisters to see you. You want all the attention. Hey, we don't care about attention, man. This world is fake anyway. Right? You literally, and it's how it show you how upside down this world is. You get praised for being somebody you not, but you get despised for being who you are. You got to make that make sense. You get praised for being somebody you're not. A adulterer, a whoremonger, a thief, a stealer. You get praised for being somebody you're not, but you get despised for being who you are. That just show you how upside down and corrupt this world is. So no, I don't want no attention from this world. This world is finished. Right? So let's go to Jeremiah chapter 37. Right? Jeremiah chapter 37 at verse 17. Then said Jeremiah unto Zedekiah, thus saith the Lord, the God of hosts, the God of Israel, if thou wilt assuredly go forth unto the king of Babylon's princes, then thy soul shall live, and this city shall not be burnt with fire, and thou shalt live in thy honor. Right, so the Lord, Jeremiah, he's telling Zedekiah, thus said the Lord, if you go and serve the captivity in Babylon, you're gonna live. Right? The city's not gonna be burnt. Just serve your 70 years in captivity. It says what? Verse 18. But if thou would not go forth to the king of Babylon's princes, then the city shall be given into the hand of the Chaldeans. So he's saying, hey, if you don't go and serve your captivity, this city, King Nebuchadnezzar II, is going to come in and besiege this city. It says, and they shall burn it with fire, and thou shalt not escape out of their hand. So Jeremiah is giving Zedekiah two choices. He could either serve his captivity and get it over with, or he cannot and get this city destroyed. Right? Verse 19. Guess what Zedekiah said? Here you have it. This man could have just served his captivity. He could have did him and had the easy way out. Guess what Zedekiah said? And it's a lot of you men and women in the truth. It says what? Verse 19. And Zedekiah the king said unto Jeremiah, I am afraid of the Jews that are fallen to the Chaldeans, lest they deliver me into their hand and they mock me. See that? So Zedekiah, he said, I'm scared what the Jews think about me. If I do this, I'm scared what the Jews will say about me. They're going to laugh at me and mock me. So a lot of you men and women, you like Zedekiah. You care about what other people think. Oh, so-and-so and so-and-so. Oh, maybe I just don't want to upload this picture. People might laugh at me. Be yourself, man. If you want to read, read. If you want to study, study, man. So what your parents think about you? So what's your job? My so-called boss at work, and he called me slow. He think I'm retarded in the head. You really think I care? That man is 50-something years old. He's already done. Right? His days is numbered. You think if I care if my boss called me slow? If he thinks I'm retarded because I wear the fringes on my shirt? And we don't care, man. We don't care because man is corruptible. That's why. A man is evil. We don't care what men thinks about us. But a lot of you men and women, you still care. You still care what your friends in the world say. Hey, it's this dude I used to be cool in the world. He kind of talked to me. I kind of talked to him about the truth from time to time. And almost every time I talk to him, he always says so and so's talking about you. They saying, what is that thing you be wearing on your shirts? What do you be saying? Right? When I be saying, all praise to the Most High in the Hebrew, he say, you speaking gibberish. What does shalom mean? Right? That's what they say in the world. Hey, I don't care what them then think about me. It's nothing in this world. You're either gonna be you're gonna be dead, in jail, or a snitch. That's the three options you got in this world. And you, especially if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, it's only so far you could go in this world. Even the Jay-Z's, the Drakes, right? The top men, they got a damn cap they can only reach. They can't supersede to Bill Gates level and be equal to Bill Gates. They have a certain limit themselves. So how much more are you? Right? Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 19. So you're gonna be laughed at. Hey, I used to get laughed at when I was a kid. Everybody, brothers and sisters probably remember that. You probably get your hair cut when you was a kid, and they laughing at you, they smacking your head, and you start crying. Hey, when you got older, that kind of built you up. That kind of made you a little bit stronger. Yeah, you used to probably cry when you was little, but hey, that kind of helped you out to the man or woman you are today. Hey, people are gonna laugh at you. Now, some men, they get laughed at. They get scared. They start crying. Hey, so what? Yahushua, he got laughed at. Hey, Paul, we're going to get to that. But let's go to Genesis 19. All right. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 19. Precept I was looking at. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 19, and verse number 14, right? Genesis 19 and 14. It says, and Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters. So Lot went out to speak to his sons-in-laws. It says what? And said, up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy the city. So Lot is saying, hey, Sodom and Gomorrah finna get destroyed by the Most High. You got to get up. You got to go. You got to escape for your life. And guess what happened? But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. See that? So his sons-in-law, they started laughing at Lot. And they tell you in 2 Timothy, the 2nd chapter, 2 Timothy 2 and 7, a Lot was a righteous man. So it's literally the righteous men. They're getting laughed at. They getting laughed to scorn. Imagine, the Most High, he just told you, hey, he finna destroy this place. You trying to help somebody else. That's how it is on the highways and byways. We try to help Jake. We try to give him everlasting life. Right? We try to get them the kingdom. And guess what Jake do? Jake be laughing. Right? It was when one time we at camp, it's these teenagers. I believe the video is still on our channel. Hey, they was kind of laughing at us. Right? They was calling, they was calling brothers certain names. Right? They said certain brothers look like Donatello off the Ninja Turtles. And they was laughing at us, man. But guess what? We don't care. We don't care what man thinks. You gotta ask yourself, why do you care what man thinks? Certain women, they care how many likes they get on Instagram, how many views they get, what their parents might think of them, right? The men they used to talk to. Hey, when are you going to start asking yourself, what does the Lord think about me? You care so much about what men thinks, how much more the Heavenly Father? Right? Let's go to Acts, chapter 17. right? Let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 17, right? So you're gonna be hated, and you should want to be hated because you fulfilling prophecy. And you blessed when you get hated. A Peter, we gonna get to that. A Peter, he's blessed. He's a part of the 144,000, the elect. And guess what? Peter was getting beat. He was getting scourged, thrown into prisons, right? If you getting thrown into prisons for the word of God, and you're blessed, that's the new trend now. Smoking weed, not the new trend no more. Have your pants pulled, that's not the new trend. A suffering persecution for the words of God, that's the new trend now. That's what we trying to strive to be like. Right? I don't know, hey, that's what I'm trying to strive for. Right? Let's go to Acts chapter 17. Right, in verse number 32. Acts 17 and 32. It says, and when they heard of the resurrection of the dead, right, this is Paul. Paul was preaching the resurrection. It says, some mocked. See that? So you're going to always have somebody that's mocking, that's laughing at you, that's being ignorant. Some mocked. It says, and others said, we will hear thee again of this matter. See that? And a wise man once said, and you got to spread the truth, whether it clears out a room or whether it fills it. Right? So you're going to get mocked. That's one of the first steps. Men are going to laugh at you. They're going to think you're crazy. You're cuckoo in the head. Right? But you got to stand 10 toes down and firm for the name of the Most High. Hey, Paul, let me get this in 1 Corinthians. Chapter 4. Right? Let me get this in 1 Corinthians chapter 4. The classic. Right, this 1 Corinthians chapter 4 at verse number 10. I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, for I think that God hath set for us the apostles last, as they were appointed to death. For we are made a spectacle unto the world and to angels and to men. Right? Now, I don't have my other phone, but, you know, if somebody was able to pull up a definition of spectacle and put it in the chat, all praise to the Most High. But, Paul said we made a spectacle unto the world. Meaning what? We stand out. We stick out, a spectacle. It says unto the world and to angels and to men. See that? So Paul, he didn't have no problem. He said we're made a spectacle. We're looked at weird. And the so-called black Hebrew Israelites, they're a spectacle unto this world. They're a spectacle unto this world. They don't fit in. And I don't want to fit in, man. I don't want to fit in with this society. I don't want to fit in with the men of this world. With Jake, that's one of them run the streets. That Jake want to make it in. I don't want to fit in. Right? I want to be made a spectacle. Right? Verse 10. It says, we are fools for Christ's sake, but ye are wise in Christ. Right? And he's telling the church of Corinth that because the church of Corinth, they're not doing what Paul is doing. Hey, Paul, he's on the streets. He's traveling to different places. To Thessalonica, Ephesus, Rome. Paul, he traveled to Spain, man. When you read Romans 15 and 24. So Paul is literally going to these different places. While the church of Corinth, they're at Corinth acting a fool. It says what? We are weak, but ye are strong. Ye are honorable, but we are despised. And are you ready to be despised of men? Right? Are you women? Are you ready to be despised? That's the true question. You got to get your mind off this place. You got to stop trying to make it in America. Stop trying to make it in this world. What's really here for you? What you want, the women? Right? You want the cars, the money? What do you want? You got to ask yourself, what do you want here? I ask myself this all the time. What do you want? What do you truly want? Hey, you don't need nothing in this world. You don't need nothing in America. You could get the women in the kingdom. The money, and you could have all the gold you want in the kingdom of heaven. Right? What you want, what else? The cars. And you could have your own chariot in the kingdom. Right? I believe somebody just, it says, out the water, King. It says spectacle. Something interesting or amazing or exciting to see that brings attention. See that? Hey, the Black Hebrew Israelites, they bring attention to this world. And last time I checked, right? People were like, wow, they're amazed. They never seen so-called black men with Bibles in their hand preaching the word of God. 50 men deep. If you look at IUIC, IUIC is like 500 men deep, man. Dressed in all purple and gold. Hey, so people, they haven't seen that before. Right? The Israelites, they're a spectacle. Right? The water for that, King. Right? So let's go to the book. I'm going to keep reading on that. It's more on that. Verse 11. Even to this present hour, we both hunger and thirst and are naked. Hey, Paul said, I'm hungry, man. My stomach is hurt. My throat is thirsty. It says, and are naked, and are buffeted, and have no certain dwelling place. And that's what's going to come. Are you ready to get kicked out of your house? Are you ready to be homeless? The times are coming. You got to make these decisions now. Right? Are you ready to lose your job? Are you ready to lose your relationship with your friends and family? Right? It says what? And labor, working with our own hands, being reviled. We bless, being persecuted. We suffer it. Being defamed, we entreat. We are made as the filth of the world, and are the offscourging of all things unto this day. And so Paul said we made the filth of this world. What is the filth? The filth is like the bottom of your shoe. Paul said that's how we are into this world. And it's going to come, the more we approach the latter days, it's going to increase. Next thing you know, it's going to go from men laughing at you and calling you a preacher and saying, hey, where's the holy water? That's what somebody said to me, right? They say, you a preacher now? Where I need some holy water. Where the holy water at? It's going to go from that to guess what? Men, they going to be spitting on you like they did Yahweh Shah in Matthew the 26th chapter. Then they going to start putting hands on you. And what are you going to, you got certain men, oh, if Esau touched me, we fighting, right? If Esau touched my wife, I'm going to kill him, right? Brother, no, you not. You lying. When Esau literally kicked in these doors, when he really cracked down, what is you going to do? Are you going to be carnal and react physically and try to fight him back? Or are you going to call upon the name of the Lord and be a spiritual man or a woman? Right? Let's go to the book of Luke. Right? Chapter 20. Right? Let's go to the book of Luke. Chapter 20. Right? And I want verse 20. Luke chapter 20 and verse number 20. Right? It's the book of Luke chapter 20. I'm going to start at verse 19. It says, and the chief priests and the scribes the same hour sought to lay hands on him. So they wanted to lay hands on Yahweh Shah. It says, and they feared the people, for they perceived that he had spoken this parable against them. And they watched him. That's what's going to happen. Men, women, the police officers, they going to start watching you. They going to start, your mom going to start watching you slowly. She going to wait till you start doing the videos, and she going to stand outside your room door and listen. Right? Okay, when you talking about that again, okay. Then next thing you know, your uncle gonna come over. He gonna start listening. They gonna start watching you. It says what? And sent forth spies. Hey, so Yahweh Shai, hey, he, for lack of better terms, if Yahweh Shai was on the earth right now, guess what? He would have the CIA watching him. For lack of better term. Now, the CIA obviously wasn't around during the time of Yahweh Shai, but I'm using this as an example. It said they sent forth spies, meaning they was watching Yahweh Shai, right? Modern day term, that would be a modern day CIA, right? Your secret agents dressing all black with shades on. Hey, they was watching Yahweh Shai, man. They was watching his every move. Okay, he doing that street piecing again. There he go. They was probably taking pictures. If Yahweh Shai was back on the earth right now, literally right now, they would be taking pictures of him. Not how they do in the movies. They take pictures of him, right? They zoom in on his face, right? He goes somewhere. They pulling up behind him. They following him in their cars. It says he's and sent forth spies, which shall feed themselves just men, that they may take hold of his word, so that they might deliver him unto the power and authority of the governor. See that? So hey, Yahweh Shai, he had spies, man, and they tried to trip him up in his words. But you can't trip up you can't trip up the Lord, man. Right? So you're gonna have spies in this thing. Men, they're gonna be watching you. They're gonna have the binoculars, right? They was okay. This brother, he's going to camp again. It's 3:45 p.m. He's going to camp. I need a team out, right? They're gonna be watching you, sisters. And don't think Esau not watching you on social media. You doing videos on Instagram. And the so-called white, he's looking at you. He's watching. He knows where you stay. Don't think Esau don't know where you stay. If you have a cellular device, any type of smartphone, they know where you at. That's for sure. Because if you was to go messing, they will automatically come to your house. They know your address. They know where you sleep. They know where you sleep, where you wash up at. They probably know where your grandma's house is. Right? So they sent forth spies. Right? Now let me get this precept. Right? In the book of Luke. All right, let's go to the book of Luke. Right? Chapter 20. Slide this not what I want. Luke chapter 21 and verse number. I'm going to start at verse 12. Right? Luke chapter 21 and verse 12. It says, but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. So the Lord already said this was going to happen. You're going to get delivered up. Now, that's not everybody's lot, but you got to get prepared for it. You got to be prepared to be brought before your local governor, your ruler. What's the governor of Chicago? Lori Lightfoot. You got to be brought, if she's still in office, to Joe Biden's. It says, and it shall turn to you for a testimony. It says, settle it therefore in your hearts, right? Not to meditate before what ye shall answer. Meaning, don't premeditate or write a long speech on what you're going to say in the time you get delivered up. It says what? Verse 15. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And that's beautiful. And that's mighty, man. And the Lord said, don't think. I'm going to give you the thoughts what to think. I'm going to tell you what to do. And you got to truly believe that the Lord is going to be with you when you're delivered up. Because the moment and you believe the Lord is not with you, you're going to start to fear. Then guess what? You might denounce the name of Yahweh Shai. Right? This is the point I wanted. Verse 16. It says, and ye shall be betrayed. Hey, you got to be ready to be, are you ready to be betrayed, man? By your friends. Right, let me hold this real fast. Let's go to the book of Matthew. Right? Chapter 26. Right, let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 26, and verse number 47. Where are you going to go back to Luke? This is Matthew, chapter 26, and verse 47. And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude, with swords and staffs, from the chief priests and elders of the people. All right, so Judas Iscariot, he's literally coming with swords in his hand, staffs. It says what? Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, the same is he. Hold him fast. See that? Verse 49. And forthwith he came to Yahushua and said, hail, master, and kissed him. See that? It says what? Verse 50. And Yahushua said unto him, friend. Hey, so Yahushua, he called Judas Iscariot his friend. Imagine that. That's your day one friend you've been with. Your mom, she might betray you. Your pops, right? Your brother in the truth. Your sister that be at the feast days. Or the sister you talk to on the phone. And Yahushua called Judas Iscariot his friend. That's deep, man. Yeah, he knew he was going to get betrayed, but the fact that he still called him friend, meaning it's going to be your own people, man. It says what? Wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Yahushua and took him. Right? See that? So Judas Iscariot, he betrayed Yahushua. Yahushua got betrayed, man. He got, what Jake would say right now, he got backdoored. That's what Jake would say right now. He got backdoored. He got robbed. But it's really called betrayal. You might get betrayed. Right? So going back to Luke real fast. Luke 21 and verse 16. And he shall be betrayed both by parents. So it might be your parents is definitely going to hate you. It says, and brethren. And kinfolks, meaning your cousins, your family of near kin, and friends. And some of you shall they cause to be put to death. Verse 17. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. And here we have it again. And this Yahushua speaking. Unless some of you calling him a liar, guess what? You men and women, you're going to be hated of all men's sake for the words of the Lord. It says, but there shall not an hair of your head perish. See that? So Yahushua is saying, you're going to be safe and sound. It says, in your patience possess ye your souls. So certain men, they're going to get beat up. Women beat up. What? Let's go to the book of Acts. Right? They're going to be throwing rocks at you. Right? Let's go to the book of Acts. Chapter 23. Right? And verse number 12. Acts 23 and 12. And it was day when certain of the Jews banded together and bound themselves under a curse. See, so these men, they came together and they bound themselves under a curse. And said what? Saying that they would neither eat nor drink till they had killed Paul. See that? And the Lord requires that which is past. That's Ecclesiastes 3:15. So these men, they say, you know what? I don't want to eat. Neither do I want to drink. I don't want to drink wine. I don't want to eat bread till Paul is dead. And you think they're not going to say that about you? These men, these men, they want you dead. They want you out of this world. Why? Because you're righteous. You're against this wicked society. See, these people, they want homosexuality to abound, transgenderism, wickedness to increase, while you want to stand up for the words of the Lord. So, of course, they going to want you out of here, right? It says what? And they were more than 40 which had made this conspiracy. So more than 40 men. Stop just thinking it's going to be 2-3 men. It was 40 men that made this conspiracy against Paul. You know how much 40 men is? If 40 men is in your house right now, hey, you know, that'll be a lot of people in there. 40 men. It says verse 14. And they came to the chief priests and elders and said, we have bound ourselves under a great curse, that we will eat nothing until we have slain Paul. Now therefore ye, it says, now therefore ye with the council signify to the chief captain that he bring him down unto you tomorrow, as though ye would inquire something more perfectly concerning him, and we, or ever he come near, and are ready to kill him. And when Paul's sister's son heard of their lying in wait, see that Paul had a sister, right? But nevertheless, it says Paul's sister's son heard of their lying in wait. He went and entered into the castle and told Paul. Then Paul called one of his centurions unto him and said, bring this young man unto the chief captain, for he hath a certain thing to tell him. So he took him and brought him to the chief captain and said, Paul the prisoner called me unto him, and prayed me to bring this young man unto thee, who has something to say unto thee. Then the chief priest took him by the hand and went with him aside privately, and asked him, what is thou hast to tell me? And he said, the Jews have agreed to desire thee that thou wouldest bring down Paul, and tomorrow into the council, as though they would inquire some of him more perfectly. So these men, they counsel to bring Paul down. It says verse 21, but do not thou yield unto him, for there lie in wait for him of them more than 40 men, which have bound themselves with an oath, that they will neither eat nor drink till they have killed him. And now are they ready, looking for a promise from thee. See that? So men, hey, they gonna be that on fire. They say, you know what? We don't want to eat. We don't want to drink. We don't want to relax. We don't want to party. We want these Israelites dead. Are you prepared for that? For men to be hunting you? You wanna, hey, they won't have it. You know that they have it on these movies. They gonna have it on a billboard post, and they gonna have it so and so wanted $50,000 cash if you bring him back to me alive. That's what's gonna happen to the Israelites. This woman, she's won $2,000, $5,000, dead or alive. Right? Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. What? This is the book of Jeremiah. Right? Chapter 18 and verse number 18. Then said they, right? Because Jeremiah went through it. Jeremiah the prophet went through it. He got hit on the head when you read Jeremiah the 20th chapter. And he got thrown in the dungeon when you read Jeremiah the 38th chapter, verse 6 on down. Right? But this is Jeremiah chapter 18 and verse 18. Then said they, come and let us devise devices against Jeremiah. These men, they're going to want to devise devices against you. What are you going to do? Are you going to be afraid? Like I said, you men and women, you barely read. What, three chapters? You get a fast in every month. You're not in the scriptures. You all on social media. What are you going to do when men devise devices against you? You're going to be caught out there. Why? Because you're not prepared. It says what? For the law shall not perish from the priest, nor counsel from the wise, nor the word from the prophet. Come, let us smite him with the tongue, and let us not give heed to any of his words. Right? Jumping down to verse 23. It says, Yet, Lord, thou knowest all their counsel against me to slay me. See, that's so they tried to slay Jeremiah multiple times. Forgive not their iniquity, neither blot out their sin from thy sight, but let them be overthrown before thee. Deal thus with them in the time of thy anger. So they literally tried to slay Jeremiah. What are you gonna do? Men are gonna try to stab you. They can say, you know what? Right, what was that Israelite stuff you was talking about? Right? Can you show me that in the Bible? Then you gonna kind of come up. The whole time they got a knife behind their back and they ready to stab you. And you gotta kind of get up out of there. Right? So this is coming, man. Right? And it's not just with you men. You women not off the hook either. This is coming to you women as well, man. Let's go to 1 Maccabees. Chapter 1. Right? It's not just you men. You got women on social media right now as we speak. Just on it. On TikTok right now. Literally right now as I'm doing this, they on TikTok. And madness and folly. But don't even know how to go on a fast. Right? This first Maccabees chapter 1. Right? It's the book First Maccabees, chapter 1, and verse number 60. It says, At that time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women. See that? So certain women, they won't get put to death. You might have to die. You might have to do what you gotta do. It says that had caused their children to be circumcised. So certain women, they're trying to keep the commandments. What are you going to do when Esau says, you know what? You can either put on these pants or you going to die. Right? What are you going to do when Esau says, you know what? Hey, you got to eat this pork or hey, I'm going to kill you. A lot of women, they just going to be simple. Well, I mean, just eat it. I'm going to just spit it out real fast. Guess what? Really, ultimately, you're going to get destroyed either way it go. You're going to get killed by, is either you're going to go out valiantly and die for the Most High, or you're going to reject the Most High, and the Lord going to kill you himself. So really, either way, it's going to get, either way. So if I would, the smart decision was to die manfully and valiant for the Most High. Either way, you're going to get killed. Right? So I'm going to read that again. It says, at that time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. And certain women, they was on fire. They was standing up for the covenant of their fathers. They was standing up for the words of the Lord, for the commandments of their fathers. It says what? And they hanged the infants about their necks, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them. So what are you going to do if Esau take your children? Esau say, you know what? You could eat this shrimp Alfredo. Or I'm just using an example. You can eat this shrimp Alfredo, or I'm going to kill your son. A lot of you women, you going to fold. Nah, that is my firstborn, right? I buried him 9 months. Hey, you better read 2 Maccabees, the 7th chapter, and learn about that woman. Hey, she said, you better die for the Lord. The rest of your brethren, they died and got slain. Hey, you better not denounce the name of the Most High. So you women, you're not off the hook as well. Right, let's go to the book of Exodus. Right. Let's go to the book of Exodus. Right, it's the book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse number 15. It says, and the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Pua. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. Right? And a lot of people, they don't talk about, I don't really hear brothers go into the midwives in Exodus, the first chapter. And these women was on fire. It says what? Verse 17. But the midwives fear God. You want to be a woman that fears the Most High, that don't care what other men think, what other men trying to devise against you, what this society, looks at you as. Hey, you get looked down upon because you want to wear a dress with a hair wrap on. Hey, it was this Eve. She was basically, it was a video. Eve was getting on this other Eve because she ain't know how to twerk. Right? If you say you a virgin, and you get looked down, if you don't have 16, 17, 15 bodies, you get looked down upon. If you come out and say, you know what, I want to save my virginity till I'm ready, men, they will laugh. These women, they'll laugh at you, and they will encourage you to lose it at a young age. So that's how you know this world is off. But it says what? But but the midwives feared God, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. See that? So these midwives, they didn't care. They didn't care what the king said. They say, you know what? We're going to do the work of the Most High. Right? We're going to do the work of the Lord plainly. It says what? It says, and the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing? I have saved the men children alive. And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women. And that's mighty. It says, for they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. Therefore God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses. Right? And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born you shall cast into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive. Right? So that's it on that. But these midwives, they didn't care what the king said. They said, you know what, we fear God. We fear them. We don't care if we're hated. Now the king, it's really no account what, they did it to them. But guess what? The Most High exalted them. He built them houses. He provide. That's one thing you got to keep in mind. Although you going through these different things, at the Most High, he's with you. You got to believe that. But that takes time building up your faith. Right? Let's go to the book of Acts. Right? Actually, I'm gonna say that. Let's go to the book of let's go to the book of Bell of the Dragon. Right? And the Apocrypha. Bell of the Dragon, right? In the Apocrypha. It's the book of Bell of the Dragon, right? Chapter 1 and verse number, I'm going to start at verse 25, right? It says, then said Daniel unto the king. I'm going to start at verse 24. It says, and the king said unto Daniel, wilt thou also say that this is of brass? Lo, he liveth, he eateth and drinketh. Thou canst not say that he is no living God, therefore worship him. And so the king told Daniel, it's like, you got to worship this idol. And that's coming back in a big way. Hey, Esau, he's going to bring out all his idols. And he might bring out Caesar Borgia. He said, you're going to say you got to worship this. You got to bow down to this image. Right? It says what? Then said Daniel unto the king, I will worship the Lord my God, for he is the living God. So, hey, Daniel, he had integrity. He didn't care what this society stands for. He said, I'm going to worship the Most High. It is what it is. Right? Verse 26. But give me leave, O king, and I shall slay this dragon without sword or staff. The king said, I will give thee leave. Then Daniel took pitch, fat, and hair, and did seethe them together, and made lumps thereof. This he put in the dragon's mouth, and so the dragon bust in sunder. And Daniel said, Lo, these are the gods you worship. So Daniel confounded this man. He made this idol blow up. He said, you know what? These are the gods that you worship. It says, verse 28, when they of Babylon heard that, they took great indignation and conspired against the king, saying, the king is become a Jew, and he have destroyed Baal. He have slain a dragon and put the priest to death. So they came to the king and said, deliver us Daniel. And they gonna say, deliver us so-and-so. That black Hebrew Israelite, hey, deliver him us. We want him. We want that woman. It says, or else we will destroy thee and thine house. And certain other men, they gonna have to make that choice. Do I want to get this man up? Do I want to sell out my brother? Do I want to sell out my son? We just read it in Luke, the 21st chapter, right? 16 on down. And your parents gonna deliver you up. It says, or else we will destroy thee and thy house. Now when the king saw they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lion's den, where he was 6 days. See that? So Daniel was cast into the lion's den 6 days. Imagine that. 6 days with no food. You can't survive 3 days. Some of you jakes, you can't go on a fast for 24 hours. You probably can't go on a 2-day fast. You're probably not there yet. A 3-day fast. Imagine 6 days without eating. It says what? And in the den there were 7 lions. And you gotta imagine, these lions is 10 times bigger in the ancient world. So these lions, and they kind of big. It's 7 of them. And they had given them every day 2 carcasses and 2 sheep, which were not given to them to the intent that they may devour Daniel. So imagine these animals, they haven't eaten days. And they did that on purpose, so when Daniel get in there, they could automatically be extra hungry and eat Daniel. Hey, Esau might do that. He might get snakes. He might put you in whatever your worst fears is. You really shouldn't be fearing nothing but the Most High. But whatever your worst so-called fears is, and a so-called white man, he might do that to you. He might put you in a ring full of lions. It might be snakes. And you might be scared of rats, mice, damn frogs, whatever you're scared of. It says, now there was in Jewry a prophet called Habakkuk, who had made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl. And that's the same Habakkuk. That's Habakkuk that you read about in the Old Testament. Right? It says it had broken bread in a bowl and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers. It says, but the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk, go carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon, and to Daniel, who is in the lion's den. So the angel told Habakkuk, hey, go give Daniel the food that you just made. Verse 35, and Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den. So the angel kind of grabbed Habakkuk up, and then through the spirit, he put him in a trance and took him to Babylon. It says what? Verse 37, And Habakkuk crying, saying, O Daniel, Daniel, take the dinner God hath sent thee. And Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O God, neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. See that? So the Lord fed Daniel. Why? Because he believed. He truly loved the Lord. He sought the Lord. He probably prayed. And you got to be prepared to get built up right now. Because when the time comes, you're not going to have the precepts with you. You're not going to be able to say, you know what? The Most High did say in Matthew 28:20, you're not going to have that when you're being hated and despised of men. You got to get everything right now. You got to build up your faith as much as you can right now. Your integrity, your strength. Right? Let's go to the book of Acts. Right, chapter 4. Right? It's the book of Acts. Chapter 4. Right, let me see if I'm gonna get straight to the point. Right, this is Acts chapter 5 and verse number 37. It says, And after this man rose up, Judas of Galilee, in the days of the taxes, right, and drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all, even as many obeyed him, were dispersed. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of God, meaning if it's of the Heavenly Father, you cannot overthrow it, lest he happily be found even to fight against the Most High. It says, and they to him, they agreed. And when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Yahushua and let them go. So you might get beat, right? And all, if you just tuning in, the whole purpose of me doing this live, because I had a dream, right, last night that I had got jumped, right, for the words of the Lord, for being an Israelite, right? And that's all praises to the Most High. It says what? And they agreed. It's like in verse 41. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. And I was literally thinking about the dream all today, right? While I was at work, I'm thinking about it like, dang, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. Because literally, it might, Lord willing, to do happen in real life. Now you got men, you want to get beat up? What do you mean you want to get beat for the words of God? For being an Israelite? For wearing your fringes? You're crazy. No, if you a man or woman that get beat for this truth, spitted on, laughed at, scourged, hey, even put to death, hey, that's beautiful, right? And you're blessed, man. Reading on. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. Why? Because all men is not counted worthy to suffer shame for the name of Yahushua. If you were able to go through those things that the apostles went through, right, that our forefathers went through, the women in Maccabees, right, the midwives, Daniel, hey, you're blessed, man. Because, hey, you're blessed. Peter, he's back on we don't know where he's at, but he's blessed. The 144,000, the elect, wherever they are in this world, hey, they're blessed. The 1/3, they're blessed. Right? Verse 42. And daily in the temple and in every house they cease not to teach and preach Yahushua Mashiach. So guess what? They're worthy. They're blessed above other men. Not every man get that opportunity to get laughed at for teaching the Bible. Every man, they don't get looked at crazy because they're wearing fringes. Every woman, they don't get looked at crazy because they're wearing dresses. A lot of people, they want to fit in. You want to make sure you strive to be that man or that woman that's made a spectacle unto this world, and that you're counted worthy to suffer shame for the name of the Most High. Well, let me get a couple more. Right? It's the book of Psalms. Hey, Peter, he's blessed, man. When I read Acts for the first time, I said, dang. Hey, Peter, he's blessed. Because when you really think about it, the stuff he went through, you know, and that's beautiful, man. Getting thrown into prison, beat on. Because guess what? Right before I go to Psalms, let's go to Matthew, the 5th chapter. Because what? Great, because he got a greater reward in the kingdom of heaven. That's what men, they don't think about. They just say, oh, I'm getting beat. You know what I mean? I hate this truth, man. Why it gotta be me? But not knowing that they have a greater reward in the kingdom of heaven. It's the book of Matthew, right? The 5th chapter. Right? The classic precept. Right? Matthew chapter 5 and verse number 11. It says what? Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad. So really, you know, if this stuff happens to you, you gotta be happy. Now, yeah, you could cry and mourn, you know, get your so-called emotions off, but you're supposed to be really happy. It's gonna tell you why you should be happy. It says, for great is your reward in heaven. Meaning, hey, you just went through that. That might be a mansion in the kingdom. You just went through, hey, that's cattle, that's land. Because you have a greater reward in the kingdom of heaven to come. It says what? For so persecute they the prophets which were before you. And the prophets like Jeremiah, Ezekiel got mocked. Isaiah got mocked. Who else? Hey, Daniel. We just read about Daniel. Guess what? They did the same thing to the men and women that were before you. Right, let's go to the book of Psalms. Chapter 116. Right? Let's go to the book of Psalms. Chapter 116. At verse number 15. Right? It says, precious in the sight of the Lord as the death of his saints. That's plain. The Lord said, what's precious, if you really want to know what pleases the Lord, guess what he just told you? The death of his saints. And you, every man and woman, you should strive to put that smile on the Lord's face. By doing what? By dying for the words of the Lord. Right? So again, this topic of the video is, are you prepared to be hated of all men for Yahweh's name's sake? Right? Are you prepared to be hated of all men? Right? And with that, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High, by Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, Womadak Yahushua. Lord willing, right? This video is edifying. Keep continuing to read, pray, write fast, build up your faith in these last days. With that, I'm going to say shalom.